What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Sleeping Warrior, Paul, Flatzoid, Chocolate Saiyan, Arwin, 10th Man, and who've we got in Discord? We've also got SX0, Right the Hand, Proficient Pirate, and Dawn, and Crepper as well. I'll take off server mute. So very good to have you, one and all.
Hello.
So in the offline hangout, we were chatting with Dawn.
I don't think anyone can hear me.
And
we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you. We hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Just give us a sec. Let's finish. We're at the crescendo of a point, and I'm hoping to get an answer. I asked Dawn what hobbies or interests did he have real world, and his answer was first-person drone flying and DJing. And I asked him if you can have a drone video without the drone. And alternatively, I asked him, could you have music without the DJ equipment? And obviously he said no to both. And I said, right, so how do you have gas pressure without something for the gas pressure to be created? He said gravity. And then I asked him, even though George Musa said that gravity is not a force, you still want to claim gravity to be the explanation for why we've got gas pressure? And I didn't get an answer. So I was just wondering, Dawn, what's your position? Even though George Musa said that gravity is not a force, even though he did say after it, but you can think of it as a force, is that still your position with regards to how we have gas pressure without a container of some kind?
Yeah, considering no one's shown evidence of there being a great sky container, the thing that isn't a force, technically by science, the new science or whatever, but we can think of as a force, sometimes acts as if it's a force. That's what I believe is the reason why we have gas pressure without a great sky container. So
when you said because nobody else has ever shown any evidence of containment, would you not consider it to be a little bit unfair?
Dawn. I don't want to keep having to tell you. Listen up. He's in the middle of a statement. Now shut the fuck up.
We're talking.
Shut up!
We're talking.
Just listen, Dawn. You said that because nobody's ever shown you evidence of containment, therefore you don't accept that it exists. Well, no, there's 2 points there. There's the point that we don't have the ability to demonstrate it because we're not NASA. And the second point that runs alongside it is you need to have containment to have pressure. So if that means that there's got to be some kind of barrier, then we should be able to go and explore to be able to demonstrate that there is either a barrier or no barrier. And when NASA do that job for us with things like rockets and stuff, there's a lot of question marks over how credible the evidence that we're presented with actually is. But we can both agree that you need a DJ system to have music. And we should be able to agree that there's got to be something that's giving us gas pressure. And even if you believe the gravity is the explanation, and we know it's not a force, that leads us to the alternative, which can only be there's got to be a membrane of some kind. Yes, it might be that they're hiding it from us. That is a possibility. But there has to be a membrane. So either we've got your force that you believe, but we know is not a force, or we've got the necessary containment of some kind that's giving us the pressure. And what we're saying is, which is the most likely to be true? The one that's a force that's not a force, or the necessary part that is required to have gas pressure, like DJ equipment for music and FPV videos, drones for the videos. We know we've got to have some kind of barrier.
Can I respond then? Well, obviously you can have some type of music without DJ equipment. You can't have a DJ set without DJ equipment.
By definition, a disc jockey
you can have music in other ways, right?
Right, Dawn, a disc jockey.
What I'm saying is, over time, there's been no evidence of there being a container in the sky. Maybe that's because they're hiding it, but you haven't shown evidence of that.
Hold on.
So I don't believe it.
Go on, Dawn.
Dawn, the gas pressure is the evidence that you're asking for.
Anthony, just let Dawn give his full, uninterrupted response.
That was a lot of points. So, yeah, that we still see evidence of the phenomenon of gravity, whether it's a force or not, whatever it is, we see evidence of stuff dropping because of a reason. But we haven't got evidence of there being a roof on the realm that we live in. We don't have any evidence of that.
Anthony, please.
So I don't think it's very likely that someone can somehow make a container that big. I don't see how or why you're even assuming or jumping to, because you have the antecedent argument, the sky must be contained, even though people have been going up in the sky for years and never bumped into anything and come back and said, yeah, we found the roof. That hasn't happened, has it?
Fine. Are you done, Dawn?
Yeah, antecedent's not enough for me to believe in a sky container.
So you're not done. Yeah, I'm done. The antecedent's not, so you're not done.
May I say something, or did Riley want?
I'm hoping that Riley will respond.
You're hoping that I can respond, but Dawn, the evidence that's required, we can demonstrate.
Okay, so
yeah, try to listen to what's being said. I'm hoping Anthony will respond.
So you're saying that there's no evidence.
So carry on talking. I would just carry on talking.
Not Dawn, it's Jess in the background. Jess, just give us a sec.
I realise. I'm trying to tell her.
Right,
ahead,
so
Anthony.
Dawn, the evidence that we do see is there is gas pressure, and we know that you have to have containment because we know that there's no force of gravity because George Musa tells us. And what we're saying is we're not being shown the evidence that's there because we know we have to have some element of containment. So just because you can't see why doesn't mean it changes the law of nature that requires some element of containment for the gas pressure to exist. Can you understand why we see your position as a little bit narrow or limited to your own understanding when we, even though there may be a bigger picture going on, we still have the gas pressure that needs to be explained? Proven.
I understand your argument. I understand your argument. My only reaction to that is it sounds a little bit like the God argument. We know there's a sky container now. Like you've been enlightened now because you found out and read those things. There has to be a sky container. So
how is it comparable to the God argument?
Decided you know
gas pressure. That's evidential. That's not philosophical.
Well, yeah, I understand your argument. I think you understand mine, which isn't much of an argument. It's just me telling you what I believe. Why?
Yeah, right. You don't have an argument. You just got a belief in a sky vacuum.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
I mean, you know how your argument has a bit of belief mixed in, doesn't it? You now believe it has to be.
It doesn't have any belief in it. You're in direct violation of the second law of thermodynamics.
Because you're now saying no. The word no. You know there's a sky container.
You won't shut up.
You
may just hold on, John. Hold on. Dawn, when you finish making your shit assertion based on your fundy belief, shut up at the end. Don't keep fucking babbling on indefinitely. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, he has a position that stands in direct contradiction to the second law of thermodynamics and Boyle's gas law. That's it. End of discussion.
I know it does go against them a bit.
Yeah, that's it.
Not a bit. Directly contradicts. Not a bit. See how you downplay it mentally? You're like, oh, I know, like a little bit of circular logic. No, you used completely circular logic. It doesn't interfere a little bit. It completely contradicts. You really need to get your mind around these like absolute terms.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard and fast like you just said.
So then show that it's not that hard and fast. It'd be like me saying I can fly like Superman. People not flying is not that hard and fast of a rule.
It would be like me saying, show me the sky container that has to be there, that you know is there. Show me.
Look up.
I have.
Yeah,
I don't
see
see,
all that
I
air
don't see a
pressure?
roof. I
See
do
all
not
the air
see a roof.
pressure?
I see many things going on for what looks like great distances.
This has been
I
explained to
have
you
not
how
seen a
many
roof
times?
or any smears on a dome. I have not seen
This
that.
has been explained to you how many times? It's a simple, necessary antecedent, consequent game. You don't need to see it, right? The consequent ribeye
Well,
steak,
for me,
the necessary antecedent cow. If somebody slaps a
to me,
ribeye down on my plate, then I never have to see the cow. I know that the cow exists somewhere. It has to, it must for the ribeye to exist, right? It's
yeah, I get
simple
the
logic.
argument.
Go back to
Yeah.
third grade.
I
Don,
don't think an
you still didn't
antecedent
finish.
explains
Don, you
wide
still didn't
reality.
finish. Don, please. You said it was the law of gravity. Now, were you referencing Newtonian gravity or Einsteinian?
I can't.
Hey guys, I want to actually
law of
bring up
gravitation.
kind of a
Excuse
related
me, I
topic
have
if
a
I could.
question out for Don.
The law of gravitation. I can't remember which occultist come up with it.
Well, let me ask you something. Did Newton live before Einstein?
I don't know. I don't know, dude.
You don't know that Newton
No.
lived before Einstein? You don't know that basic fact?
Nope.
Okay. Well, we'll
Hey
give you a
guys,
pass
I
on
kind of
that.
want to bring up a topic that's related to gravity and how
I'm
it's kind of
talking.
perceived in popular science right now.
Excuse me. Who's this talking? So Don, Newton
Is that
came
cool?
out. What Newton
minute,
came out. Gosh.
Yeah.
Newton
one
came
lived
out.
first?
Oh my gosh. Can you be quiet, please?
Yeah, listen, when somebody's talking, you don't have to say, yeah, okay, all right. You close his gate. So just shut your mouth and listen to his question. How hard is that?
I'm trying to, but he's going up, but, and not even saying it.
Yeah, that's because you're closing his gate. Again,
Someone else was
and now he's
asking
going
if
to
they can ask
interrupt
a
me.
question. It wasn't
He's going
me
to get the
talking.
explanation for the second time and he's going to interrupt me. He's just explained it to you. Yeah, saying yeah, closes the gate and then you don't hear the end of the statement.
I'll give it another try. So Newton came out with the formula for gravity that so-called pseudoscience held for a long time. Then Einstein came out and said Newton is wrong. It's the bending of space-time. Which one of those laws are interchangeable? If it's a law, can you change it?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I was just quoting. People told me gravitation is the law of gravitation.
No, I know, but you must understand this is a debate channel. And if you're going to quote somebody, you probably put a little bit of time into it. So can you change a law of natural nature by being born a few hundred years later and saying the guy before you is wrong and you introduce a new law?
You don't change the thing that happens. You change your understanding of it, obviously.
Okay, so then Anthony was right. When they changed it, they got rid of the force element of Newton and said it's magic. So you believe in magic?
I actually do, yeah.
Okay, well that solves everything then. Because we don't have an example of pressure existing without a container, but I can think of it because it's magic. Is that you?
No, we don't have any examples of containers the size of a sky either, do we?
No, but we have examples of container.
That has to be.
But we have examples of pressure in containers up until the sky. You agreed to that already, that from the sky down, it's the natural world. You remember?
Yeah, I think it's all the natural world, yeah.
Okay, so that one portion of the sky, the very tippy top portion of the sky, all the way down is the natural world. We're asking you that other part, the other direction of the tippy top of the sky towards what's the so-called outer space. You're saying you don't know what's there. It's magic.
No, I didn't say that at all.
Well, then you must admit that up until the tippy top, it's a container because from there down, we only see it in the container.
No, I must not admit that.
Well, of course you have, because You said that's the
Show
natural
me the
world.
sky
In the natural
container,
world,
dude.
you
Show
gotta
me the
have a
sky
container.
container, or I
to have
won't believe you
pressure.
exist.
Yeah, see, when you get to your concluding point, he rumpusses you. Do you want to try again, 10th man? Let's see if Dawn can shut up while you make your conclusion again.
Yeah, from the tippy top of the natural world that Don's already conceded all the way down is the natural world, and you must have pressure and you must have a container. It's from that point up that he says that it's too big, we don't need to see it. But up until that point, you need one. And then he cites a natural law, but then he violates a natural law by saying, well, I don't believe that there could be a container that big. But he's never been up there to know that. But he does admit from that point down, you need a container.
No, I didn't say that.
Sure you did. You said from the sky all the way down, it's the natural world.
Oh,
And
please,
in the
not
natural,
again.
Oh, dude, saying it's the natural world does not mean it needs a container from the sky down. I did not say that.
no,
My whole
but you
point
did
is
say
it doesn't need a
you did
container because
say,
it's reality,
but-
not a
Don,
carton.
are you having trouble with the meaning of words, Don?
Yeah, he does
but
have
you
trouble with the
did
meaning of words.
say, but you did say that it is the natural world. And guess what we could do in the natural world? We can test out these things. And it says every time you need pressure, you need a container. So up until that tippy top, you need a container.
In my belief system, that doesn't apply to the whole of reality as well.
Well, there's the problem.
Weirdly,
You have a belief system. That's the problem. That's why we're here talking to you. And I don't know why we are.
It's not a problem. I love your belief system. It's not a problem for me.
It's not my belief system. It's your belief system. I don't have a belief system.
I'm talking about yours
You are
now.
standing in direct contradiction. I say again, you are standing in direct contradiction to the second law of thermodynamics and Boyle's gas law, at a minimum.
Yeah.
So,
he
and
summed it
you
up.
keep on appealing. He keeps on appealing to entropy and scale. Can you show where entropy is based on scale?
I don't know if I appealed to entropy. I did appeal to scale.
Yeah, well, you appealed to entropy not reaching its full capacity or its full potential based on scale. So can you show us in the second law of thermodynamics where it's based on scale?
I guess what you're saying is I don't believe in the second law of thermodynamics in that context.
Not a believe disbelieve situation. Is that natural or doesn't matter if you don't believe it. We don't give a crap.
The only globe right here, ain't I?
Dawn, let me ask you something. Let's say we were in a pool, right? Yeah. And the pool just started expanding. Like it just started getting bigger. We're just sitting in the water. It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. If it got as big as an ocean, would you think that there was nothing holding the water? It was just, we were just sitting in nothing?
That's quite a cool thought experiment. I guess if it went that far, we could only say we've seen the observable part of the pool. I don't know if I'd assume it's infinite or not. Or
no, but would
such a weird analogy to our own reality. But
would you assume that it's just going to behave the way we see everything else like it behave?
Well, you're comparing water to gas pressure.
No, I'm not. I'm comparing what we see and how things behave to how things behave.
Yeah, when things get on a large scale, my beliefs change, I think, yeah.
Why? What makes your beliefs change when the scale changes?
Because it's much harder to prove. Antecedent isn't enough for me to believe in something that's never seen or shown.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so let's say you have a ball and a cup, right? You pour water on the ball and it rolls off. You pour it in the cup and it stays in there, okay? Now scale both of those objects up to a planet size. Is water going to magically rush out of the big cup and behave differently?
I don't know about a big cup in space, but yeah, obviously I think water behaves differently in space, yeah.
No, I'm saying the cup. Would if you had a planet-sized cup, would you expect water to just sit in it like we've seen small cups, or would you expect the water to just not be able to be contained inside of the cup for some magical force?
In my belief system, I think I'd expect the water to make a sphere around the cup, I think.
But around the cup, so it would.
Don, are you serious?
I've no idea what a space cup
This thing on is seriously high.
He's trolling,
Oh,
guys.
wow.
Yeah, he
Hey,
has.
Don,
This is not my
Don,
concept.
He has to be trolling.
Masters of Space War is not my concept.
Not trolling. He's
Hey,
No,
dead.
it's
Don.
scale. I'm just
Dumb.
trying to show scale, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this
I
guy
said-
Don, I'm
things change
almost-
on a big
I'm
scale.
almost-
in
Wait,
my
wait.
opinion.
So Don. So if you had a cup the size of the planet, right? You think that
Yeah.
the water in the cup would form around it as a sphere because of the mere size of it. That's what you're saying?
I think that's what water does in space.
Right.
No, water forms a ball.
I don't really
when
know.
the
I just
air
believe
pressure
it.
is even. Dawn, when water forms a ball when they drop it on the vomit comet because the air pressure all around it is even. So the natural shape that an object will take when the pressure around it is even is a ball.
No, it's not.
Skylab
Because
ISS
in outer
seems to have
space, the
drops
water
of
would
water.
evaporate
Drops of water.
due to the low pressure, and
There is-
it would not form a ball.
There is no.
There is
hold
no
on.
space.
There is no space.
You might be
Hold
right,
on. Hold
Alan,
on.
you
We've
might be
just
right.
spent a whole show going through it with Dawn and explaining that the necessary antecedent is something to press upon, and we do have gas pressure. He's saying, I just deny the antecedent because I've got a fundamentalist belief in a sky vacuum. Now he's using examples in the sky vacuum, and we're saying that wouldn't happen in the sky vacuum. Let's not argue about what may or may not happen in Narnia. Yeah? We've not had any demonstrations of gas pressure that we all breathe being...
Come on, Nathan.
What? No.
Hey,
No.
One thing I've said in like 30 minutes.
I'm not going to let you beg the question. Sorry. No. No. No.
Don,
It's going to be him doing the same thing.
No, I'm going to reiterate the point. There is no space. This fundamentalist belief that the sky is a vacuum is nonsense. So from this point on, any examples that people give of things happening in the sky vacuum, I'm just going to go, are we forgetting there is no sky vacuum?
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
But if there
Do you
was,
believe-
it
do you
would
believe we
certainly work
measure
at
less
that point.
pressure as we go up? Do you believe that, Nathan?
Is that done?
Or measure? Do you believe when people take a barometer in a plane and a balloon, they measure less pressure as they go up?
That's not,
May I
that's
answer
not, that's
that or
not a
not?
belief. That's demonstrably the case.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
he's trying to
you
use the
said-
gas pressure. He's
Yeah,
trying to
let
use
him.
the gas
But
pressure
you believe it
gradient
goes all
argument.
the way down to near
He's trying to use the
all way
gas
up to
pressure
near
gradient. Where'd you get the gas pressure first?
Let him make the
Well,
argument.
do you know why the
Let's see how well he
ionosphere is
does.
called the ionosphere?
I doubt he can even formulate the argument properly. Go on, make your argument, Dawn.
No, it's just a question. Do you believe that? And you said yes.
Yeah, it's observably the case. What's your point?
Do you believe it gets less and less and less and less and less, and
Yeah,
then there's a
third time. Demonstrably, observably the case. What's your point?
Okay. So what do you believe happens when the grey fades all the way down to black, when it gets to black?
Sorry,
Is
sorry,
that where the
we
containment
were
starts?
just talking about pressure of a gas, and now you're talking
Yeah,
about.
and you-
But
it's saying
Dawn,
it-
Dawn, this is another one of those times that you need to shut your fucking mouth because I'm talking, right? That means shut up. So what you've just described for me to do, Dawn, is go from explaining why gas pressure decreases with altitude to why things fade to a different colour. Now, I'm not the best at explaining why gas pressure turns to a colour, because that's nonsense, Dawn. So maybe you'd like to rephrase your stupid question. Now, anybody who preceded this will know that I just said that you wouldn't even be able to formulate the argument, and I'd just like to say I was correct.
Well, it wasn't an argument, but I'll
So do you want to reformulate your question? Because I can't explain
Oh,
how
it
gas
wasn't an
pressure...
argument
Hold
indeed.
on. I can't explain how gas pressure fades to black, Dawn, because that's nonsense.
You're pretending you don't know what I meant, but so
Sorry,
I'll
I'll say
for
it
you.
a third time for the complete retard.
Oh, I got it the first
There
two
is
times.
no way anybody, including me, can explain how a gas pressure, high pressure molecules moving in all directions, can turn to a colour. That's a nonsense question. Maybe you'd like to reformulate it
Which I
based
said
on
I
the
would
evidence that I
almost
said
a
you
minute
couldn't
ago, almost a
even
minute ago.
form the gas pressure gradient strawman argument, and you can't. That's how dumb you are. You don't
Let
even
me
know how
reform it
to
then,
make
dude.
this strawman argument, do you, Dawn? You can't even
Let me
make the
reform it
strawman.
then.
Yeah, I'm pointing out that you can't even make the strawman argument, and you're talking over the top of me. Yeah, no humility in defeat. You can't even formulate this strawman argument, Dumbo.
It's not an argument. It's a question for you.
Yeah, what? Why can't it fade to black? Because it's a non. I tell you why, Dawn. I'll answer you then. Because that's nonsense, Dawn. gas pressure doesn't change to a colour. That's nonsense. Is that a good enough answer for you?
I understood that when you said it 4 times ago.
Yeah, so do you want to reformulate your question or accept the
Yes,
answer is...
I do.
Or
I do.
accept
That's
that the
why I asked
answer
if I did.
is that
Said
your
I would.
question is malformed and you are retarded. If you don't like the fact that you've formulated a malformed question based on the fact that you're retarded, you don't have to like it, Sunshine. You are in fact retarded. That is in fact a malformed question. There will be no answer other than the fact that you're retarded and it's a malformed question. Maybe you'd like to rephrase it.
Yes, I would.
Yeah, laugh it up, retard.
Okay, so the gradient goes lower and lower pressure. But how low do you think it goes before the container is there?
What the fuck are you talking about? How low does it go before the container?
Yeah.
So you're admitting we definitely need a container now?
No, that's not an admission. In your theory, in your concept.
Sorry,
How far
do
does the
you want
gradient
to
go?
stick some quotes around a? Do you want to stick some quotes around a claim I've made?
No,
Dawn?
you haven't got an answer. Now I've reformed
Sorry,
it. After you asked me
Dawn,
5
you've just
times,
said
you haven't got an
in
answer.
my argument. Now, again, you're going to keep talking. So are you going to stick some quotes around a claim that I've made? Or is this a straw man about something you think I've made and can't put quotes around?
I'll wait and see if you answer the question.
Sorry, Dawn, you've said how low does it go? Based on
How
where
low
it
do
will
you-
be
how
in...
low do you
I
think
haven't even finished my
it goes?
sentence. Based on where it will be in proximity to the container. That was your question.
Not quite, but almost.
So, Dawn, how low will the gas pressure go before a container? Is that a concession of a container?
No.
So what are you trying to prove here, Dawn?
Nothing. It was simply a question for you about your
Oh,
beliefs.
right. So we're wasting time with benign questions that mean nothing and prove nothing. Wow. It's so good to have retards on the panel.
Can I back Dawn up here?
I
Sorry,
actually
go-
answered the
want to talk
question, you
about
know.
how perspective and gravity are being combined now.
Apparently
in the
I
new
was got an
scientific,
answer.
like pop science model.
Sorry, who was
Can
just
I play
talking?
devil's advocate here for a second? I thought of something that does back Dawn up in it. You know, when you said that low pressure doesn't cause a change in color, that is true to some extent. But you look at the aurora borealis, and I was thinking about the ionosphere. How, you know, once it gets to such a low pressure, everything spreads apart to a point where everything is in single atoms or single molecules, are all just spread out. And then when the vacuum gets to such a degree where it's very, very low pressure, it turns into what I think is a plasma, and then you get the green lights and all of that. But that's still a fluid. That's still a fluid that can exert pressure on a container. No point does it get to the vacuum space.
The low pressure is so powerful that it actually causes matter to break apart.
Arwen, I didn't hear his point.
I'll finish that. There's no point at which the ionosphere or the low pressure zone, there's no point at which it spreads out and becomes space that doesn't have anything occupying it. That doesn't exist. You can't have space with no material.
Totally agree.
Okay.
What's your
guys,
point?
I was actually watching this science show on Netflix.
Hold on a second.
It's a way to teach
Hold on.
kids
Mr.
about
Netflix.
science, and they started talking about
God.
gravity.
Just
Hey,
because there's a
Mr.
gap.
Netflix.
Yeah.
What was the other guy's point?
Yeah, exactly. What was your point exactly?
My point was that the atmosphere still maintains some sort of cohesiveness to it. Even when you get the aurora borealis and you get this very low pressure zone forming what I think is an ionized gas or a plasma, it's still a fluid. It still has the ability to, as a cohesive whole, apply a force to the outside of a container or the inside of a container.
Where's the container, and where'd you get
at no point
pressure?
does it spread out to a point where there's space with nothing occupying it.
Can you be a bit more concise, for crying out loud? Where'd you get pressure from? Hello?
Gravity.
Where'd you get pressure from?
The material that's inside of the volume.
What volume?
Where'd you get volume? Show volume without a container.
It's a waste of time.
Yeah. See what I mean?
I said you get pressure from the material that's within the volume that you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you
can't have volume without a container is the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
I was just trying to.
Okay.
Okay, Netflix guy, go ahead.
Netflix guy.
Sorry, who was it that was talking?
Cool. Yeah, it was me. I saw my son watching a show called Brainchild on Netflix. He was getting ready for bed, and the show kept playing. And they had a whole episode about gravity. And it started talking about George Musser and everything that's been going on. Him working for Scientific American and being somebody who has to talk to people about science and explain himself in concise ways that make sense. I thought it compared to the show because they started talking about how perspective and gravity were combined. And it started making me really upset because it was so confusing and stupid. This little girl had a balloon that was painted like a bowling ball. And she had a bowling ball that looked like a balloon in the shot, framed in the scene. So you'd think it was a balloon. And all of a sudden she let the balloon go. That was really a bowling ball and it fell down. So you'd be deceived. And she said, oh, the perspective of you expecting that balloon that looked like a bowling ball to be a bowling ball and the balloon that was a bowling ball, the opposite, what you expected to happen being switched around was because of gravity, because the way you perceive the world. And perspective and gravity are are interconnected, and you cannot separate the two. And there was a show for children, and it was the stupidest way I've ever heard gravity explained. And then he started talking about the Einsteinian version of gravity and putting a blanket with a bowling ball in the middle, ball bearings rolling around it, sticking to it, saying humans are the ball bearings. They let pool balls go around. The billiard balls are the gases. And they never explained why other stuff doesn't get attracted to us, like the moon doesn't just collapse into us.
Can you link that in the chat, dude, that video?
I'll have to find the video. It's on Netflix. It's called Brainchild. It's on like the kids section of Netflix. And there's a whole episode about gravity. I have to find the actual stuff and probably record it. But
I've
it was
got
just
Netflix.
So strange. It was really weird that they were
It's idiocracy. They're dumbing the generations down slowly a little bit at a time. First, it started with something kind of quantifiable, tangible, mass attracting mass. Then they move it into the theoretical, unproven space-time. Then from there, they move it down to its perspective. And then you will literally have idiocracy where things go down.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The next generation of people coming into this conversation are going to be kids that thought like that and watched cool Netflix shows that had cool little skits and animations and funny music and stuff that explained.
But that's only going to be the case
and
if they're not
totally
actually going to be exposed to anything flat Earth related ever.
Exactly. And I was just I wanted to know what people think about like actually teaching like their kids about flat Earth and stuff.
Netflix guy, every time you talk in the background, it has like you're opening up a suitcase and then zipping it back up again.
May I finish my line of questioning with Don and I'll be done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, please.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, Don, you're saying you have a challenge with the container, correct?
Well, I just don't believe it unless you guys give me evidence. Antecedents.
Okay, that's just one answer. So you have a challenge with it existing because you don't see the evidence, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my question. Since you believe the tippy top is next to a vacuum of space, how would you test that here in the natural world to see if that could even work? When you introduce any type of pressure in a cube, let's say, and you take a middle slit out and you allow that pressure to go into the second part of the cube, isn't it dispersing?
Well, firstly, I wouldn't do it personally, but if I wanted to and I was that type of person inclined, I'd send a balloon up with a barometer on it and see if I got to a near vacuum.
I'm talking about where the air, the atmosphere at your tippy top meets the vacuum of space. Yeah. If there is no container, wouldn't that air disperse into the vacuum in all different directions that gases go? If you were to do that,
gravity attracts it to Earth.
No, I'm saying use gravity.
Gravity. Are you
I want you to use your gravity from the clouds down. If you were to do that test in your basement where you have gravity, if you
I know. I can't do a test of a whole reality in my basement. No, I can't do that.
Okay.
Well, what's gravity?
Do it
Is that
on your-
invisible three-toed gnomes? Why are you allowing him to invoke something that doesn't exist? You just let him go, right?
I'm not
I'm-
invoking it.
I'm
That's
not
what I
letting
believe in, John.
That's
I'm not
the
let-
only damn thing he even remotely understands.
if I
That's
can
not fair.
Not agree.
Oh,
He
gosh.
simply doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Arwen,
He said he doesn't
Owen,
believe in
that's
things
better
that
than
he
making
can't
stuff
see.
up, isn't it, Owen?
He said before that he doesn't believe in things that he can't see. So show us gravity.
No, that's not fair.
How is it not fair?
I
Yeah,
can show
no,
the
you're right.
effects of gravity. Can
No,
you show me
it's
the
fair.
effects of
You've got your
the sky
fundy
being
belief in it, Dawn.
a
It's
container?
only fair we should accept, just carte blanche, accept your fundy belief.
No, I'm not asking you to accept anything. I don't care what you believe.
Well, we've asked you to show it us.
Show you gravity. I can show you the effects of gravity, what I think are gravity.
Go on then.
Nope, I want to see gravity.
Well, it's an invisible phenomenon. I can't show you it.
Yeah, no, well, not that. I'm not going to show you the effects of the container, right? So
Okay.
I want you to show me the gravity itself, not the
I
effect.
can't show you it. I can't show you
Well, you-
itself, gravity
Yeah,
itself.
I'm sorry. You said that you don't believe in anything you can't see in reference to a container.
No, I didn't
But
actually
then you-
say that. I
but
said
then-
one of
but
the
then you
reasons
said
I don't
gravity.
believe in the container is we
But then
don't have
you said gravity.
evidence. That's what I said.
But then you send gravity. So keep on over talking me. You see my point,
No, you didn't listen to it. You talked over it.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
because
can't
you said what I said
expect
was
people
wrong.
to
So I
hold
wanted
their
to
word
correct
when
what I
they
actually
literally don't even know what they're talking about.
Right. So
do.
the meaning of my point is that if you don't see it, according to you, if you can't see it, then you can't believe it. So then
No,
you
I
invoke.
didn't say that, John. I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. Yes, you did. I wrote it down.
No,
And
I
I've been
did not
waiting.
say I only believe in things I can see. I never said this.
Yeah, you did. You did say that.
No, I didn't. I've never
see
ever
it,
said
I
that.
believe it.
You did.
Yep.
I
I
didn't.
wrote it down.
Owen.
You
I said
you said
that's one of the
you
reasons I don't believe in your sky container.
He won't
because I
let
don't
you.
see it.
No, he won't let you. He won't let you quote him. So go ahead, John.
Yeah.
Quote him.
So, like I said, very quickly, he said that he can't see the container, he doesn't believe it, and then immediately invoke gravity. Well, I'm saying that he can't see gravity either. So why does he believe it?
There's other reasons why I don't believe the container. It wasn't just the fact I can't see it. That was one reason.
Yeah, and we told you you're standing in direct contradiction to the second law of thermodynamics and Boyle's gas law.
Yeah.
Right. I think Don has anti-container bias.
Well, you can't show me.
I do believe in
I don't
gravity
believe-
despite not having
Yeah, what did
evidence.
he just say? You can't show me it.
I don't think God builds containers, honestly.
Okay, so you
Dawn,
literally
you just said then.
like
Dawn,
now you're
you just
okay.
said then that we can't show you the container, but you don't accept that when we say you can't show us gravity, but we can show the gas
No,
pressure.
I accept that's the same.
Hey, Dawn, what this is like is it's like you saying, I don't know what causes rain. You know, you're telling me that it's the precipitation of something turning from a gas into a solid, right? Oh, that's great, but I can't see it. I'm just going to say that it's millions of pink pixies that are invisible, casting their wands, causing the rain to fall, and that's good enough explanation for me because I can't see precipitation. I don't believe you. It's not precipitation.
I think that's what you guys are doing with the sky container. You
No,
don't see
yeah,
it,
because
but you've
we-
got
that's
the
Because we
citation
can
that
demonstrate
has
the
to
gas
be there.
pressure requires a container. You can't demonstrate this thing that you believe called gravity.
I know, but not everything on a big
We-
scale is demonstratable, Riley.
The proof that there is for a container is that we see the mechanism of action. There's a pressure, and that to have a pressure, you need to have a container. So it necessitates that you see the mechanism of action. You know that precipitation can occur on a small scale, so you can infer that that mechanism of action requires that to be happening. But you cannot prove the pink pixies.
It's confusing for
doesn't
me
believe
because
it.
you guys are supposed to be the guys
Believe
against science with alternative narratives, and here you
Whoa,
are quoting
against science?
saying
No,
this
no,
has to
no. We're
be
the
because
guys
science
that
says.
employ the scientific method, not against science. We're against pseudoscience. Get it right.
But you're for assuming the whole reality has to be the same as a car tire because the science says so, and the science method has to hold up on a big scale.
Well, isn't that how natural laws are established in the first place? Because everything is like that everywhere, known.
I don't know. No, not really.
All right.
Different
All right.
rules on different scales.
I think that's enough for him. Do we have any more ballers? I'm looking in here.
I've been
Don,
waiting for
Nathan, who's proficient pirate? We have any ballers in here? Come on, we're on Discord. This Discord server is infested with brain dead ball tard spinning space monkeys. Come on to the live stream. This room is open. You're gonna get your chance. So stop your keyboard worrying, clown shows. Come on in here. Okay, Zanuck. You're off mute. Go ahead.
Wow, look at that. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Yes.
Good to have you.
Let me close the other window that is echoing. Hold on. Hear me now.
Yes.
All right. Hello, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for letting me join your swarm.
Hey.
Hello?
It's good to have
you.
you.
Yeah, you're good. Go.
Okay.
What? So do you want me to start off? Let me start off since it's going slow, right? Let me ask you a question. Do you have one shred of scientific evidence for your spinning ball space monkey religion?
Spinning ball. Does the Earth spin? I thought we were talking about if it's round or not, but now you want to talk about whether it's spinning. We were debating gravity. You have all sorts of terms being mixed up with thermodynamics. But where do you want? You want to start with the spinning ball? Yeah, there's not a lot of observable.
It appears you can't hear either. I said, please post one shred of scientific evidence for your ball-tard spinning space monkey religion.
Things weighing lighter at the equator, measurable.
Evidence, please.
Weigh lighter. Okay, wait a second. He's giving us scientific evidence. So that's your natural phenomena.
That's a natural phenomenon. You can take mass, weigh it at the North Pole, at North America, and at the equator, and it'll have.
Define mass.
Define mass? The amount of matter, the amount of atoms in a specific. Pardon me?
Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen. That's a mole.
Amount of matter.
It's a mole.
That mole is matter.
Yep, but weight will also change based on the air pressure. If you have something on a scale and you increase air pressure, the weight will go down. So when you get different air pressures at different places
that's true, but hold
Earth,
on a second. That's true.
That's not true. Air pressure
that's
not,
true, but wait a second. He has yet to define mass, please.
Mass is the amount of matter in some object, in an object.
Okay,
or
that
gas.
is the definition of a mole, so that's not mass.
A mole is mass. The mole is amount of mass.
No. From the Royal Society of Chemistry, studies have shown that the amount of substance is often incorrectly identified with mass. So mass is definitely not a mole. They're two different words. So you're off the reservation.
It's Argato's law, and you go to the amount of atoms in a particular amount of volume.
Well, I just told you that was incorrect. So you need to start again.
You asked me what mass is. Mass is the amount of matter.
Sorry.
Yeah, and I just said, oh my God.
John, hold on a second. Hold on. We seem to be having a malfunction with your cognition. So you've said it, then I said it. Humorously, I asked the audience to say it with me. Then John has said it twice more. He's then gone to the Royal Institute of what, John? Sorry?
Royal Society of Chemistry. I'm going to post a citation in live stream or in a live chat. Go ahead.
So what more do you want? Do you need to say it 5 more times? What's the problem? It's not a mole. That's not mass.
So it's wrong. We can debate the definition of matter, but what's the point here? So what are you asking me?
No, we're not debating it. We're not debating it. Sorry. We're not debating it. We've asked you to define mass, and you've given us the definition of a mole.
So obviously there's a disconnect on what the relationship between mass and a mole is.
Sorry, this is you defining your terms. So far, not so good, my friend. Do you want to try again and define mass? Not a mole for the 5th time, please.
Mass is the number of atoms in a particular object or volume.
So we are going to do it a 5th time.
What you're describing.
Sorry, no, it's okay. What was your name? Sorry, what was it? Zanik.
Go by Zanik.
Zanik. Okay. What I'd like you to do, Zanik, it's for the 2nd time, but putting that aside, I'd like you to listen to what John reads out. He's read it once, but I'd like you to listen very carefully to the words that he uses. You there, John?
Yes, it's in live stream also. From the Royal Society of Chemistry, moreover, studies have shown that the amount of substance is often incorrectly identified with mass.
Okay, I'm not alone, but we know it's just by basic definitions, it's a measure of its resistance to acceleration when a force is applied, that kind of stuff. We can go that direction.
Oh, so that's another definition.
Okay, sorry. Hold on, John. Hold on. Can you repeat that definition, please, Zanik?
You're reading from what I posted, right?
Hold on. I mean, Zanik, can you repeat that definition, please?
Pardon me?
Said it's resistance to what now?
Resistance to acceleration.
Inertia.
Yes, inertia. Correct.
Yeah, no, that's inertia, not mass.
No, inertia. Okay, so it's a property of a physical body and a measure of its resistance to acceleration. That's what mass is.
Sorry, you're getting confused. I don't know why you've done this. We asked you to define mass, not inertia.
Mass is a property of a physical body. There's a lot of different, if you look up mass in Wikipedia or a dictionary or a science book, you get a lot of different definitions. They're all correct.
Well, that's a big problem.
Okay.
When you say property of matter, what
hold
kind
on, right the hand.
Mass?
Hold on. So hold on. So what you're saying is we can't agree on terms for what mass is because there are many definitions. That's what you're saying. How can we ever agree on this term mass then?
Well, there's also a word called synonymous, and it means there's a lot of different ways of saying the same thing, correct?
Oh, really? So you're saying that inertia and mole, both neither are mass, are the same thing, is what you're saying? No. In physics, they have. I hadn't finished. In physics, they have very different definitions, and they're very different things. One is a mole, and one is inertia. They're different. They're not the same. So they're very rigorously defined. Now, for some stupid reason, I've no idea why, you gave the definition of a mole and the definition of inertia for the definition of mass. And then your justification, if you could let me finish, was that there's many definitions of this term mass. So my question is, how can we ever possibly agree on terms if there's many definitions?
Well, I go back to there are many definitions, and all of them are synonymous. All of them are properties of a particular topic or item, subject. I'd say it's pretty normal for in the English language to have several different words or terms.
You've said this twice. That's a repetition. That's a crap point. Yeah. Sorry, I'll just repeat myself then. No, I'll say it a little slower. In physics, they have specific definitions, and they have specific definitions for mole and inertia, neither of which are mass. So no, there is not multiple definitions, there is very precise definitions. Something you don't have when you talk about mass. You use the word mass, and you can't seem to define it and want to tell us about synonyms that aren't synonyms. Mole and inertia are not the same. I've now said that twice. Please do not repeat for the third time that synonyms are acceptable when we are defining terms.
Okay.
Not
So,
okay.
Can we move forward? Can we move forward on,
No.
on the math?
Move
to
forward. This is
something a little more
your
exciting?
example. Hold on. Sorry. Hello. This is your example. We are yet to define mass. What's your malfunction? What, you want to move forward with your crap example that you haven't made yet? Well, yeah, sure. We can just completely ignore you from this conversation if you literally have nothing to offer. What, move past your example you haven't made, mate? You want to make your example first, and then we'll try and demolish it, and then we'll move forward, because you haven't made a point yet. You failed to define mass. That's all you've done so far.
It's a fair question. I can appreciate that. Mass is the number of moles or molecules measured in a kilo of mass.
Hello? 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 That's a mole! Are you literally not listening to what we're saying to you? Do you have... I'm not being funny here. Are you slightly retarded? Is that something that you haven't disclosed?
You're having a hard time discerning between mass and moles. Mole is the number of molecules of mass.
Yes, we know. We told you that after you said it was mass, and then we corrected you.
He said it was the number of molecules of mass. Where did you get that definition from? What are molecules of mass?
Maybe they're molecules. Hold on, John. From what I've got so far, I think we're going to get a definition of molecules of inertia soon.
Well, inertia is the resistance of acceleration. We know that. We've agreed on that.
You just said that was mass as well earlier. Do you not forget that you also gave that as the definition of mass, my friend? It seems you're very confused. There doesn't seem to be a point in any of what you're telling us, and you don't seem to understand what mass is, and you keep telling us that it's a mole, and then telling us it's inertia, and then saying that we can use synonyms. Why are you here?
Right. Does he understand that that's an equivocation fallacy?
Maybe.
Define an equivocation fallacy.
Yeah, good point. Do you know what an equivocation fallacy is? Zanuck?
Do I know what an equivocation fallacy is?
Well, you can certainly hear.
You use two different definitions to make your point.
Two different definitions in the same example. So, for example, mole and inertia for mass. Just as a simple example of an equivocation fallacy.
I said that it was a property of mass. I didn't say they were the same.
Well, you also said it was inertia, though, didn't you? So this would be a perfect example of an equivocation fallacy. Would you not agree?
Well, mass does... Well,
that's not my question. I didn't ask about what mass does. I didn't ask that. You don't seem to listen to questions when you don't like them. Yeah, my question was, given that you gave a definition for inertia and a definition for the number of substance in something, that would be a very good example of an equivocation fallacy, as they're two different examples of one thing. Hello, you just need to say yes. Yes, I'm a fallacious globetard. Yes, it is an equivocation fallacy. Yes, it's glaring to everyone on the panel, everyone in Discord, everyone watching. I just don't have the humility to admit it.
We're getting into definitions between mole and molecule. One's part of the
It's not what I asked.
I agree.
It's not what I asked.
You have a definition.
It's not what I asked. I asked, would the fact that you gave inertia and mole for the definition of mass be a perfect example of equivocation fallacy? That's what I'm asking. That's my very specific question. Not what mass is, not what inertia is, not how you've come to this stupid belief or how you formed this fallacy, just a concession that yes, you are fallacious. This is an equivocation fallacy. That's what I'm waiting for.
I've given you specific definitions, and I've said that mass, one of the properties of mass is its resistance to acceleration. Yes, inertia is it's a mass's resistance to acceleration. We know that.
That's not what he's asking you. We're beyond that point now.
Yeah, that's inertia. We've done this already. That's the third time I've had to say it. No, friend, that's inertia. So we're not talking about the number of substances in something then anymore. We're now talking about its resistance to something. So that's two different things. And I'm asking if you appreciate, even though everyone here while you talk over me appreciates that it's an equivocation fallacy, but I want you to concede that. Have some humility. Be strong. You can do it.
Okay, Nathan, you're right. It is somewhat of an equivocation fallacy.
Absolutely.
Not somewhat.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an equivocation fallacy. That's absolutely correct. So, what are you going to do with your maths example now we've pointed out how fallacious it is? Where are you going to go now?
Well, I think one is a subset of the other, correct? So if we're talking about mass, we're talking about just molecules or atoms.
No, we haven't.
Period.
You haven't defined mass, you stupid idiot. We haven't defined mass. We pointed out that you've used an equivocation fallacy. Stop talking, because you seem to have brushed past it. No, Fundy. We haven't defined mass. That's the point. Yeah? So that's why I'm holding you here till you concede it. So as soon as we move on, you don't go, so mass. So about that mass, we haven't defined. Yeah, you've used an equivocation to define mass. That's what I've got you to concede. You've conceded it and then immediately started using mass. Something you've not managed to define yet. Do you get it?
I said mass was molecules or atoms. That's mass.
Oh, so you're going to have another bash?
Can I help you out, Sonny?
No. So he's going to have another bash at equivocation fallacies. Didn't you understand then? So you are slow and stupid. You didn't understand what an equivocation fallacy was then. You are retarded, because we've explained it to you twice, and you seem to still be doing it. So do we need to explain it to you a third time, Dumbo? Because we're going to start insulting you, because it's blatantly obvious you're stupid now, having had it explained twice. Yeah, you've also conceded. Yeah, that is a bit of an equivocation. So what are you going to do? Keep doing it?
I'm just giving you the definition of mass. Mass
No, it's not.
is a large body of matter. No matter what the shape, it's a large body of matter. That's it.
Doesn't need to be.
What else is it?
If you want this explained to you with pinpoint accuracy, it is this. Mass is the quantitative measure of resistance to acceleration of a set amount of matter. And then matter, in terms of the mole, is a measurement of mass per a certain amount of molecules. And the point here is, if mass is the resistance to acceleration, inertia, at what point does it become the measure of acceleration caused? Because it can't be both the measure of acceleration, the measure of resistance to acceleration and the cause of acceleration.
Those are two different things. Resistance, so go back to Newton's second law, because I know you guys are big on natural laws of nature. Newton's second law says F equals ma. So force equals mass times the acceleration, right?
Right. Yes,
so
that's what it
says. The only thing that's going to make a mass move is the force.
What's mass?
The force will have to act on.
We seem to go around in circles here. So we haven't defined mass. It's got two different definitions. Yeah? The amount of substance and its resistance to a force. So you're now going to throw up an equation that uses this undefined, equivocated term. Is that what you're going to do now?
Yes.
Seems that way.
Someone gave the definition. Who was that was speaking to me regarding those two definitions?
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, please. Nathan, there's a little logistical issue. That your link to Discord that you put out is invalid. If you look in our chat right here in the Skype chat, there's a new link.
Okay, I'm going to round out any minute though. So there'll be a bit of an after show, but as far as the rest of this live show is concerned, there's going to be no more link. So we have got a Discord audience though, so it must have been valid at some point.
Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's all right. I'd rather know. It's all new to me, this Discord stuff, so I'd rather people keep up to date with what's going on in Discord, because I don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah, so let's, if you're going to round out shortly, but that's okay. So let's go into the fourth or fifth definition of mass. Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to let that happen on the live show. So I'm going to round out this live show and say, if you're watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you're watching this live, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. A massive, huge, enormous thank you to all of you who joined us in the live audience, and of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel in both Google Plus Hangouts on Air and Discord server. If you need to keep yourself occupied after this live stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned if you're watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!